Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. She does so much to help people feel better, get answers, get confirmation, get closure, get clarity. And we're going to see some of that in action today. Some of the examples of the types of readings she does. Yes, I said readings, so that got us in the wheelhouse of a psychic medium. She's also an energy healer. She's amazing. Alisha B is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very well, very well. So if somebody doesn't know what type of reading they want, or they're not sure what types you do, why don't we list those, the types of readings or things that you do for people?
Okay. So I can do love readings. So that's a relationship. If you're in a relationship, we can kind of look at how that's going, how your energy is, and your significant other's energy, and we take a peek into that. Also career readings. So say you want to change a job or you're not happy in your job and you come to me, we can look at opportunities that spirit brings forth that are in line with your soul purpose. And they kind of give you a little fork in the road to make some choices. I also do higher messages. Those would include the help of healing. So healing the emotions that we have inside of us or any kind of issues or experiences we've had. That's spiritual guidance, and then closure. If we lost a loved one, we're grieving. It kind of brings closure to that, or closure to a chapter in our life that we're moving out of.
So when we talk about the career one, let's say somebody is looking to maybe start a business or pivot in a different direction. Is that something you would also do readings for?
Yes. Actually, I had a recent one that is in a current career. I'm trying to be as vague so these people don't feel like, Sure. I'm very, very good at keeping what we read about private. So these are very general, but I hope everybody gets the idea. I had a client come in that has a current career field in the education field of education.
Okay.
And didn't know about her, and they're showing me painting, and I'm like, what is this painting? I see you outdoors and I see you painting. Do you go outdoors and paint? And they said, no, but I love the outdoors. My favorite part of what I do is educating people when we're out in nature. And then painting has always been my passion, but it wasn't making money. So I gave it up. And spirit came in and was like, why'd you give it up? This is your path. You're going to bring happiness and emotion and empathy and help people heal through your art. And so they're redirecting into the career path that they've always known they had. They just never brought it to fruition.
Wow. So in that kind of situation, where did you get that confirmation from? Did it come from spirit? Did it come from a relative of that person that may have passed?
That was from spirit. So higher self, spirit, their spiritual support team. That was actually from their guide. Their guide talked to me, and we kind of like spread it out for them. So take me through that process, and we're going to get into other types of readings in just a moment. But that process where spirit speaks to you or sends messages, are we talking about you're tapping into their spirit? I call them a spirit team, spirit guides, whatever. We have spirits around us that are supporting us. So is it you tapping into those, or are you using your own spirit guides to give you insight, or could be one or the other, combination of both? It's a mixture of both. Sometimes it'll be just straight through my spiritual team. We'll connect to higher, which I just call spirit in general. That's more of the source energy above our spiritual guides. So I'll tap into that, and a lot of times that'll begin the direction. In this case, this client had very active spiritual team that was like, hey, we'll tell you what needs to be done. Hey, listen to us. Wow. To where I was like, okay, I don't need to listen to spirit because the team has it. Let's go with the team.
Oh, wow. Have you ever gotten something and said, I don't know if that sounds right?
A lot. I will get messages. Here's one from an example of like healing and closure. I got a message. Well, first of all, it was in Spanish. I am not bilingual. There were Spanish in there, and I was trying to relay it because, again, like I had said, it's kind of like a typing letterheading as I'm seeing the image in my mind's eye, and it was in Spanish. And I was like, oh, no, how do I say these words? And so I relayed them, and she was like, the client, she said that that's what her grandma called her. So I was like, okay, so we're talking to your grandma. I got a family member, motherly energy. Turns out this was almost like a mother to them. But what I didn't understand was I was being shown doll dresses like this big and then a plant. And I was like, what? I don't understand. And so I drew it out and I was like, please, this is what I got. Does this make sense to you? Because they're just giving me images at this point of creating a doll dress and being in plants. And so the grandmother had taught this person how to make clothes and started out with dolls. And so they brought forward, hey, this is what we did. And then now when the client goes into kind of like that centering and just taking time for themselves, they sit out on their porch with plants and the grandmother sits with that client while they're out there. And so it made sense once I give it out. But when they tell me, it's just random. It's so random.
Is it almost as if you get it, you deliver it? You might question it in your mind, like, what the heck what are they saying? But I don't want to use the cliche, you're just the messenger, but are you just the messenger?
Yeah, I am just the messenger. I am a conduit and in between from your team, your spiritual team, higher self, and just delivering those messages. 99% of the time, I have no idea what they're talking about. And it's very important to me to not formulate a story for you. This message is not meant for me as the reader. It is meant to connect with you as the person coming to me. So if I formulate a story, it is never going to connect with you because that's my brain. That's not Spirit's message. But if I give you the message, about 98, sometimes they give me stuff and they're like, I don't connect with that. They'll call me, a few days later, be like, oh, wait, this made sense. So 90% of the time, it'll make sense. Sometimes it still doesn't, and they just have to kind of figure out where it came from, I guess.
What other types of readings do you do?
So we did career. Did we do the career? I had a great example for career.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, we already did that. Love.
Well, okay. Well, we did career. I don't know if you gave the example. Was that the teacher?
The teacher.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Love, I have to imagine, is probably one of the bigger categories for you.
Mm-hmm. It is probably the biggest category across the board from what I've seen. We all love to be in love. We love to be cared for, and we love to have that connection. Sometimes we don't know when to release that connection, when it's no longer good for us or the other person, and we try to hold on, and then complications occur from that relationship. So a lot of my love readings are not, I've had some that were, when am I going to find my love? First of all, I don't do time frames. Spirit does not work on our linear time. It is not linear with who we're talking to. Past, present, and future occur all at the same time for Spirit. And so didn't get a time frame, but they described the person they would meet. Not just, they showed me, so I described. And I drew out this person. And I think 8 months later, that client called me and was like, I just met the man you were talking about. Like, I met them. We're doing great. Like, it's a phenomenal relationship. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Like, yay. I love hearing confirmation, but I also don't know what to do when you tell me you confirm it. So I'm like, oh.
Wow. Does that kind of freak you out? Like when you get that, somebody calls back and says, you were right. Oh my gosh.
It does. It does. And the weird thing is we don't always get the confirmation. So we kind of have, lack of a better word, an imposter syndrome with it, right? Because we can't see the physical form and we're telling you this. And a lot, like you said, people can typically tell when someone's lying. When they agree and it's a lie, you're like, this doesn't connect. And you're just trying to say it does, but it's that energy that we have. And so when they come back and confirm it, you're like, oh, wow. Thank you, team. Thank you, Spirit. Like, this is beautiful that this has helped this person move forward and heal and continue on in their life where they were stuck. And so it gives me goosebumps just thinking about, so emotional when they come to fruition and help people.
The imposter syndrome. We all have it at some point in our lives. You could be in a relationship and feel that you're not fit for the relationship. Maybe you think somebody's out of your league, so you're in imposter syndrome mode. It's everywhere. Did you feel that in the beginning when you first started doing readings?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. When I first started getting readings, I had my developmental coach. I did a reading for her. It was on the mediumship side. Her mother stepped into my living room. And I was like, this can't be. This cannot be. And so I was explaining, I just had someone step in. Who is this person? I described. And she was able to show a photo of her mom wearing the exact dress she showed up in my living room in.
Wow.
And I was like, holy mo, is this real? Like, is this actually real?
Why is it some come through and not others? So I shared this previously that I get signs from my mom all the time. I ask for them. They don't just show up. I ask, I get them, very specific. I have no doubt that her spirit is not around. It's here. I got it. Others, in my lineage, I don't hear from them. Yeah, I'll throw it out there. Hey, Dad, what do you got? Hey, check in. I don't get it. I have gotten some things from my mom that connected to him loosely recently, but not an actual. Why do some come through and some not?
So, from my experience and understanding, it has to do with the energy they're able to muster. Crossing the veil to get to our side in order to give a message actually takes a lot of energy. Some people, when their soul crossed, they are done with this plane. They don't want to look at it. They don't want to talk to it. It was a lot for them. So they're going to go recover. They have their healing opportunity with their full soul. Others decide that they're going to stick around and help guide those that they've been with in this plane. And so they're able to pull that energy in and bring messages forward. They can also help others that say just don't have that energy to come forward. They kind of share that energy, which is why you'll get a lot of pets come through first. Talking to myself and other readers, you'll have a dog run through, and then right behind that dog, because to me, dogs are just pure. Animals are very pure souls. They'll pull in those that don't have the energy to come through. So for me and my understanding, it has to do with the energy and availability to cross the veil to come back to us.
Let's talk about pets. So do they just come through, or do you have to reach out to them? Like, how does that work? Or is it the same situation as humans that have crossed?
Pets, for me personally, pop in so random. I did a healing on somebody that their dog came through. And I was like, well, that's new, because I call in your spiritual team, but I don't call in past pets to come through. That's not how I work my energy sessions. And they came through and nudged this person's heart saying, it needs to heal. It needs to heal. And so we worked on the heart center and healing. And I did share that they had a medium experience. Their dog came through, and the tears that came through knowing that their pet was safe has done so much healing for this person. They have moved forward, and it is, again, a beautiful experience. But pets for me are random. I don't typically call, hey, let's go check on your pet. But they do come through. They come through when we need them to, because they're connected with us just like we connect with them and other people.
I have an interesting situation. So I had an orange tabby. He passed 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then I rescued. He was a rescue. He was in a cage for like a year. A wonderful, mushy, sweet, just a wonderful cat. And I rescued another one 2.5 years ago, orange tabby.
Mm-hmm.
I am convinced it's him.
I would have to agree. So this dog that came through showed me a sliver of their soul going into a puppy that this person had. And they, after that, were telling me how similar it is to their previous pet. All of these characteristics are spot on for what that pet did, plus a little personality of being individual. And pets do come back to us. I firmly believe that. I've seen it happen. And yeah, I believe he could be
There's no doubt. There's no, and I got him to heal in a situation with me, my daughter. There was a reason I got a cat. And like a few months after that, I got another one. And my theory on this is that I rescued the first cat, and that was Maestro. And he was a litter of like 50 cats. And in the shelter, they all named him with M because he came from a town that was, first letter was M. Is an older gentleman that kept all these cats. But this cat was in a cage in the shelter for a year. So I feel like I rescued him, and as his give back, he came back in another cat, Rocco. And Rocco was there to heal, and did, in a big way. I mean, I walk in he jumps up on the counter. I'm like, Rocco, give me a kiss. He comes over, like it's almost too much. Like he's too sweet. But I'm not complaining. But yeah, I think they. What about people? What are your thoughts on people coming back?
100%. Like, I firmly believe in reincarnation. That has to do with your soul lessons that you set out for yourself. Whether you achieve those lessons, learn them or not, will be whether you repeat those coming back through. We set up our own life path, our soul life path, and we decide things we're going to learn, we're going to experience to help us build our soul, higher soul, ascend it, bring it up into a higher vibration. And so I believe that if we don't finish what we're meant to finish here, we get to do it all over again, with some of those same lessons and maybe brand new lessons that come in that are going to help us learn that core one we didn't get the first time around.
Let's say go over to any other readings that you do before we go off topic.
That's the big ones. Energy readings, I do that. Like for your chakra alignment, medical intuitive readings for generalization of what may be going on with you that you need to check with your physician on. And then mediumship, which is going into areas and talking to spirits, releasing spirits. So
this word comes up from time to time, and lots of us have a different definition or view of the word karma. Mm-hmm. So what's your view on karma?
Karma's real. Karma may not get you in this existence, but karma will come back in your next life cycle. Mm-hmm. There are some people that when they do something wrong, they automatically feel that negative energy come in and they change their ways. There's some that do something wrong and are like, I got away with that time. Let me keep going and going and going and going. But as you keep going and refuse to learn your lesson, you're setting yourself up to essentially slingshot back once you pass to restart that because you refuse to do what you set out for yourself.
Or what the universe set out
mm-hmm.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have to imagine back to what you said before. It's not on our time frame. So if somebody does you wrong, let's say they've done you wrong multiple times and you're like, karma train is coming up, or karma police is going to be knocking on your door. Eventually, yes, that's what I'm hearing from you.
Yes.
Don't know when it's going to be?
Correct. I would love to say it's instant and everybody gets it right then and there, but that would make us learn lessons quicker. And you have to action to learn your karmic lessons. So you have to actually take steps. You can't expect your team to take them for you. Just like when you get a job, you can't expect them to hire you on at a job you don't know without taking you through steps to learn. You're the manager. You have to learn your own steps. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's you can't just be thrown into the situation. You have to be worked into the situation.
Yes.
Okay. So karma, many times it's viewed as a negative. Is there good karma?
Yes, there is. I think did we talk about manifesting? We may not.
We should.
We should definitely make that one. We did talk about the gratitude journals and positive thinking, reframing. And when you do that, you're inviting the positive karmic energy. And that'll change from, say, I'm going to use myself as an example. I had cancer. Instead of coming into that when I got diagnosed saying, oh my gosh, this is it. It's over for me. Like, this is the big C. I'm done. I looked at my physician and was like, well, what's our plan? Like, this cannot be the end, right? So we're going to go attack it and we're going to get better. So tell me what we need to do. And I made it to where I wasn't viewing it as the end of my life, but just a chapter. So when you change your karmic output, which was, I didn't want to die, right? I wanted to live. And I put that out there. I'm fighting. Energy and karma came back to me and I'm here today. So it's what you put out, you give back. So it may not be immediate, but positive karma is there. You know, maybe you helped out a coworker and then you got an award, or you helped out I was a nurse, I was going to say a patient, and you got recognized for that. And yeah, maybe it's, hard where you work or you're not getting along with management, but those people you impact, that was your positive karma that came back and you got recognized for your contributions.
Love that.
one thing I always say, pay attention to the small. We look for this grand scale to come back to us. That's not typically how it works. It's those little things that come through.
But the little things that come through or come your way can lead to bigger things once
Yes.
you put the breadcrumbs together, the puzzle, put the pieces together. I pilot now by just do the right thing. Well, this is my mantra. I didn't write this. Some people say it was Bob Marley's, others, whoever, Shakespeare, whoever, I don't know. But it's love everyone, trust few. That was a key one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And do the right thing for all. And that's
beautiful.
what it sounds. Number 3 there is just do the right thing. Just
Mm-hmm.
do the right thing, but not, I added to that for all, because we can always say, well, I did the right thing for yourself.
Right.
It's got to be the greater good is where I'm going with that. But you shouldn't do that expecting something in return. But that's how the universe works. And as we talked about gratitude previously, if you are grateful for things, we said the universe gives you more because it says, oh, wait, you like that? I got more for you. Here you go. Yeah. It's super cool. How do you define, last question, what is the universe?
The universe is energy to me. It's just a vast amount of energy that we're all connected to. Everything within the universe has its own vibration and energy signature, but it is an ever expanding, never ending source of energy. I like to call it life energy, and that's what universe is to me. It's source, creator, and life energy for everything that inhabits it.
I do have one more question.
Yes.
What if you're somebody who feels that you're doing the right thing and just things happen to you? Things like, why did that happen? And you're not being negative. It's just like, all right, there's that. Then there's that. And you know the good things are coming, but they haven't shown up yet. like you just feel it. Let's say you're at that point in your life. Hypothetical here, just throwing it out. What do you think's going on?
This is going to be hard for people to I don't know. You're not learning your lessons you're supposed to. So they're sending you little tidbits of lessons. And that's why I still have the rule of 3, right? Bad things come in 3 for me typically. So that first one that comes through, that's when I get the mentality of, oh, something happened. And that puts out to universe, we're going to send you another one because you reacted negatively and you didn't learn from it. And you're like, man, it just keeps coming. Boom, here's your third. By the third one, I'm like, okay, pay attention. What was the first thing I went through? What was the second thing I went through? Okay, and this third thing, okay, this is fine. It's a small level of aggravation that I made too big and invited too much of that negative back into me.
I really appreciate how you explain things so clear and right to the point.
Thank you.
It's your superpower. I really mean that.
I try to make it where you can understand, because if not, we're talking for nothing. And I want to help people grow and heal and move forward and learn how this energy exchange works. And if I can't explain it, then what am I doing?
I know what you're doing. You're helping people and in your purpose. But a lot of this is woo-woo, and some people could say, well, I don't know about that. But you make it so clear and you validate things even for me. I'm not a psychic. I've been studying energy. I've been watching it. I've been been a student of energy, and you validated a lot of that even just today, as you've done in the past. And maybe I got to believe for others too, how about this whole psychic thing works. Comes down to energy.
Hopefully it does help people understand it. That's really what I want, is just to help. And if you understand it, it can help so much more than if you're like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Because then what do? You just push it aside. I'm not going to look.
Exactly.
And you're not going to look for the signs that may be coming your way for a reason as well. What's the best way to find you?
Best way would be my website, insightpsychics.com/Alisha. That gives you a little bit of my bio, what I do on my different modalities, and my booking scheduling system. You can also call or text me at 256-469-8111.
Super cool. Thank you so much for today. And here's to a great new year for everybody, right?
Happy New Year, everyone. Hope your holidays were great, and it's going to be a great year. Put it out there. Put it out there.
Do you feel that?
Do I feel it's going to be a great year?
Yeah. Be honest.
No. So personally, I've had
you
some
ask, you
channels
might
come
get it.
through.
You
I know.
you
I
ask
know.
and you might get an answer. So be prepared for the answer. And this is nothing negative, but why do you say that? What are you feeling?
So something I'm learning to do is channel, and I've gotten some channel messages of some rocky things to come. Do I think the end of the year will be better than it was this year? Yes, but we have some bumps and hurdles to get through along the way next year. So,
And they could be anything, right? They could be financial, weather, whatever.
Correct.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying it's big scale. We're the earth is not going to explode and we're going to live on little pieces. Like we
Right.
just have some things we have to get through, and then it will be a much better year next year.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yes, you're
Awesome.
welcome.
All right. Happy New Year. We'll talk in 2025.
Sounds good. Have a new one, a new year, a good one.
Good one. All right. We'll be right back.
Are there times where you feel lost, as if nothing in life makes sense? Are you still trying to process events from the past or the passing of loved ones? Those questions and more can be answered through contacting your angels, guides, and higher self by me, Alisha B., psychic medium and energy healer. Visit me today at insightpsychics.com/ALISHA to begin your healing journey and bring a sense of balance to your life.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.